Okay, so our second project this year was the Analysis and Action Plan for Teacher Empowerment and Leadership. Our first step was to look at best practices in this area. I just included a quote here because Dr. Lamb says the purpose of school leaders is to help teachers be successful. If you help teachers be successful, then students will be successful also. Build efficacy and empowerment among staff. Some of the best practices are listed here, like establishing clear purpose and priorities. You know, we have our school vision and our mission statement. Provide access to resources that enable informed decision making. We have 2 PLCs each week. Engage educators in establishing clear benchmarks for progress monitoring and providing educators with data. So that kind of goes along with what we're doing right now with MTSS. And then provide adequate training and support. And we've seen this coming from the district level, but teachers are also encouraged to go out and find it for themselves as well. Results-oriented professional development is the next section that we looked into. And for it to be relevant and help teachers, it should be content-focused, incorporate active learning, and utilizing adult learning theory, support collaboration, and also using models of effective practice, provide coaching and expert support, and also be, offer teachers feedback. The most productive professional development is where you can actually use it, and then someone can observe you and then provide you with feedback, or you can come back together. It's sustained and lasts over a long period of time. Recruitment, placement, and mentoring of staff. This was a focus for kind of bringing in your best teachers and promoting teacher leadership. These are the things that they say are the most effective practices, but some are out of our hands, like providing adequate compensation. That's a district level, so we can't really do anything about that. State also has a lot of decision in that. Adopting effective hiring policies. I know just from being in this county that Wake County has different hiring policies. Here everything is top secret until it's a done deal, and in Wake County they can officially offer you the job at your interview if they want to. Maintain appropriate personnel management, provide training and support for newly hired and newly licensed staff members. And I think this is something that our school and our county does really well with our mentor-mentee program. Provide adequate working conditions, which is something we all strive to do as well. Approaches to and for evaluation of staff. I looked at multiple evaluation tools. Allowing teachers to observe one another and provide support or coaching opportunities. This is something we're doing this year and that I'm taking a part of that I've never really done before, except in peer coaching, which was wonderful and I enjoyed it so much, but they kind of went away from that practice. And now we're using the True North Logic and the North Carolina teacher evaluation tool that's, I guess, mandated by the state. But I really enjoyed peer coaching, and I liked that piece where we got to observe one another and help each other out. Teacher leadership and decision making. Some of the things that stuck out to me were teachers who feel heard and valued are more effective. Schools where teacher leadership is present in areas of decision making are more successful in terms of student achievement. And many teachers demonstrate leadership through educational technology and social media. So one of the things I thought was really interesting was a study where teacher leaders were present in a school, but most of the time their decision making only informed decisions where students were concerned. For example, grading policies. But they weren't necessarily present when it came to things like student behavior. The study went further to say that where teacher leaders were most present were in areas that had the least effect on student achievement. So I know this is an area that I would like to see change, but I know it's very difficult when you're running a school as large as ours. Many teachers demonstrate leadership through educational technology and social media. This one really applied to me because I don't like social media that much, but I have learned to start following other educators on social media, and from that I was able to get professional development this year completely online just from the people that I followed. There was a huge team of instructional technology teachers And we did a professional development. It was like $20, and I get the videos for a full year. And it was 3 days, I believe, that they presented information, and it was from teachers all over the country that did it. And it was wonderful. It was really great. So the second part of the process was allowing us, the candidates, to create this instructional checklist. And I used something that the county already uses. Mr. McNeil, our assistant principal, he provided me with that instructional checklist. And I was able to observe 10 teachers with the checklist. And these are the practices that I observed the most. Clearly aligned standards-based learning activities. They were present in almost 100% of the classrooms that I attended. Personalized learning activities were also present in 40% of the classrooms that I attended, and I thought that was outstanding since we've spent so much time the last couple of years with personalized learning. Student-centered coursework and student-centered activities were also present, around 50% and 40%. Interest-based activities were the least present at 10%, and then student collaboration was only seen a little over 20%. I think overall the instructional practices here at our school are solid. I think we have a great foundation. We have wonderful teachers in the classroom. So in looking at teacher leadership and empowerment, I didn't think this was as relevant as my next part. In this part, we created a survey and we administered it. It was completely voluntary, and I had 32 teachers that responded. And what I did was I took the leadership questions from the North Carolina Teaching and Working Conditions Survey, and I sent it out to our staff here. 32 teachers replied, and this is what I found. The blue area represents the percentage of teachers who agreed or strongly agreed with the responses, and the red indicates the percentage of teachers that disagreed or strongly disagreed with the responses. And the responses down here are written, and I'm sure you're all familiar with what those responses are, but this one says teachers are recognized as education experts. That was above 50%. Teachers are encouraged to participate in school leadership roles. That was really high. Teachers are trusted to make sound professional decisions about instruction. That was a little bit on the low side, below 50%. Teachers are relied upon to make decisions about educational issues. Again, a little bit on the low side there. In this school, we take steps to solve problems. That was high. The faculty has an effective process for making group decisions to solve problems. And then teachers are effective leaders in this school. Now, the next step in this process was to take that information, that data, and look for gaps. And this is called a gap analysis. And the focus to me, or what stood out the most to me, was from that teacher leadership survey, where we had 31% of teachers agree that they have an appropriate level of influence on decision making. Less than 40% believe they are reliable decision makers, and less than 50% believe they are trusted as decision makers with regards to instruction. So I felt that all three of these levels were really low. However, teachers do perceive themselves as educational experts and effective leaders in the school. 62% agree that they are educational experts, and 78% agree that teachers are effective leaders. So the desired outcome of the gap analysis, which is really driving the whole project, is that we want to increase teacher perception of themselves as reliable influencers and decision makers. So the next step would be to create that plan, and I want to take a look at the plan. This is the plan. I want to create an environment where teachers can come in and provide professional development for each other. The first step would be to determine what teachers are most interested in right now. The next step would be to establish an environment where they felt free to come in, non-judgmental. We had the technology and the tools, and the facilitation tools are here. I would also need to seek out teachers to design and deliver the professional development, but I know that we have strong teachers here that could do that. And then just set up a calendar so that professional development is offered once a month. And just kind of have it as this time for teachers to come in and learn or present and share and kind of help each other out in school. I think that's going to be the most important. I want to go back to the other one because of where we are right now. In Johnson County, we've had so much change. We've had so much change with leadership, and we've had so many issues with our budget that I don't see us doing a whole lot of professional development, whereas in the previous couple of years, everything was coming from the district, and we were just really seeing a huge difference in the instructional practices. So I still want us to have that common professional development, at least have that opportunity, but put it in the teacher's hands where they can say what they want, and that we can find those teachers that are adept in those areas and they can present it. So that is my plan for technology empowerment and leadership for Westview Elementary School.